All right, Crouton Bones House of Math. Welcome in. This page will have this video, the one you're watching right now, on it, giving you a little preview of what you get with just this one password. The site-wide password goes to many, many pages, and this is one of them. What we get here is completing the square made fun and easy. So the problem is, and see, this isn't a problem when you can see it, but the problem, you can't see that these symbols right here, that's supposed to be a square, and that's a square. But if you can't see that this is a square and this is a square, this becomes a little more difficult. But I show you how we are going to apply the 5 basic concepts to this simple algebra and use it to make math fun and easy and even teach the wee ones counting. Because they're going to be able to complete the square. They don't even know how to count to 16 yet by 4s. You'll see in just a moment. Counting by 5 is easy. But when you can see it, we can see that this is x squared 10x and 25. And the factors would be x plus 5, x plus 5. Or in base 10, this could be 15 squared. And we can see that, oh, this is part of a lesson about how to square numbers that end in 5. Right. You can see that very young children can play and understand what they're doing. And the algebra is just along for the ride. If this is a square and this is a square, and I know this square is 49, let's see, what must this be in the abstract? Well, what plus 2 is going to give you 7? So in this case, the x, if this is x squared 4x and 4, and this is 49, it's visually obvious that this must be the same as a 5. Now, here's the thing. This is a little boy, obviously, and this is a little girl. This little girl is not going to learn the same way as her brother. She's a kinesthetic learner, and this is more of a visual learner. Most boys are visual auditory. Many girls are kinesthetic and visual, or visual auditory. And teaching them using a male visual method isn't going to work so well. So not having the ability to see what these symbols represent is a serious handicap. I also give you here a sheet to work on just for fun, and I think you'll find that not all of them work out perfectly, and that's part of the fun. Okay, what numbers would make them work out perfectly? Is it off by 1? Is it off by a lot? Well, gee, if it was just this, then it would work out perfectly. All right, here is a video, and you'll see this several other places because what it shows you, and it's a meta video where I'm commenting on a video that I made, what it shows you is the 5 basic concepts in action. Because all we can do is count, because mathematics is a study of numbers. The highest number we're going to count to is 9. We only count stuff that's the same. We use rectangles, clearly, to facilitate the counting. And in this case, it's squares, so not just rectangles. Hero 0, and no fun get back to 1, all of which is shown clearly with this example. And you can tell that I'm not 100% done with this page. There's no quotes at the bottom. All right, so this gives you like the introduction. Now, if you want to get a little more into how to teach it for free, if you don't have a password, just click completing the square here, and you'll see how we use completing the square to teach counting. Lots of videos and information there. And see, it's this basic shape, once again, x squared, 2x, and 1. Variations on this theme. But see, if you can't see that x squared, 2x, and 1 is a rectangle, not just any rectangle, a square, and you might be able to have a difficult time because you haven't seen that 25 is also a square, and this is actually not even 25, it's 24 plus 1, which is the same as 25, and you can see that that's a square. And with this square and that square can be the same if you know what number that is. And I show you how to make it so that any little child can understand these. So turn this into a square. Now it's just a puzzle. So if I have x squared and 6x, oh look, 9 completes the square. And that should be easy to count, 3, 6, 9. Okay, we're talking about children so young that when they complete the square, they don't know how many this is because they can't count four fours. So we can measure that four fours is the same thing as a 10 and a 6 or 16. But we're using the algebra to teach 400 math facts and 45 add-ins and making math fun. This child right here is an adult. This is a contemporary of one of my sons. So he doesn't look like this anymore. But here he is playing, completing the square. We have a bunch of squares here. So he knows, he's familiar. It's not just something he memorized and to forget later. 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, 64, 81, and then there's your 100. And then we can use this to also teach radicals, which you'll see in just a second. All right, so here she is counting on her fingers, which is what you want. She looks a little older than she is, but this is just a 12-year-old child, and she still hasn't got her multiplication tables 100% memorized. So we're just counting on fingers. Well, let's see here. Uh, I don't know what number we're counting, but it's probably eights or something. 8, 16, 24, 32, etc. All right. Um, Using the same methodology on these two works when it's Mortensen math because we add the kinesthetic component and it's visual and auditory also. So we cover all learning styles of just about all the children. Works with those that are learning disabled, quote unquote, those that are blind. Uh, this method absolutely works. Now, and here is more working with another child, Commander Colby, fooling around with completing the square in his algebra class. Um, and then here's more with radicals. What if each one of those squares is a 2? Then I can say that this is no longer 25, this is 50. And this would be 5 square roots of 2. We explain it to you clearly. And so you can see this page is a little more finished because we do in fact have some math quotes down here. Okay, and then after all of that, you get even more if you have your password. You can, because all of that was for free. Now, if you have a password, put it in here. It's the Module 3 password, and you get even more explanation so that it's easy and fun. You can't miss, there's no failure. Everyone understands because they can get their hands on it, and everyone attains mastery. So once you get that, then the graphing is easy because we've lowered your cognitive load. The part where we have to complete the square and graph it makes it easy. And you can see, oh, look, here's the negative ones. What happens when it's got negative x's? Well, we show you how to do those, or I show you how to do those. And more algebra with older students, high school students. So you can see, yep, we can do the negative ones for sure. And just completing the square and multiplication and so on. And then, oh, look, we're headed off to the quadratic equation. Now, see, once you understand this, then the quadratic equation is no problem. There's nothing to fear. It's not hard. It's simple, easy, and fun. And it's great because there's a video, I believe, that it's posted somewhere where she says, okay, now I understand it. Because she had been taught it in public school and it didn't make sense. And then I taught it to her and oh, okay. But we had a little trepidation because this child, when faced with all these symbols, began to have some issues. And I've seen this many times where they're fine until they look at the board and they see all the symbols on the board, and the symbols are uh, daunting. But then they realize, oh yeah, well, that's just 2 big red squares, and that's 7 blue ones, and that's 2 pink ones, and I'm going to turn that into a rectangle. And then we can take this information, and I show you that graphing is as easy as 1, 2, 3. What we're going to do is get these 2 points, and that point, and then it's really easy to graph them. Okay, this might be for slightly older children, but if the younger ones understand this, when it's time for this, this is not going to be a problem. It's going to be fun and easy. This is why once you understand it, um, all they can do is change the numbers. So this is why my son got 100% on the practice test for the state of Hawaii math portion of the GED. Didn't get a single problem wrong. Why? Because one, he could see them, and two, all they can do is change the numbers. All right, but once you can see these problems, uh, it makes the math accessible to all. Doesn't matter what your learning style is, doesn't matter how old you are, and it becomes fun and easy child's play. All right, once you get through this, you can go to the allegedly advanced algebra. And if you have the Module 4 password, put it in here. Module 4 and Module 3 passwords come with many of the packages I have when it comes to courses, algebra courses, the allegedly advanced algebra course, one for teachers, one for students. And actually, they're interchangeable. And then when you complete the square, things like the quadratic equation become easy also. So when you see this, and here I'll take you behind this page too. Uh-oh. Oh, it's because it's the Module 4 password. And I don't have it programmed into the computer. So I'd have to dig it up, and I'm not going to. But, and that would have given you another sneak peek. But basically what you're going to see is the quadratic equation is yet more squares and rectangles. And it makes it easy and fun again. Right? It never gets hard. This is forcing some x squareds, some b and some c into a very specific shape. There it is. And look, here it is again. See, once you understand basic concepts, the math becomes easy. It becomes child's play. Right? It advanced what's under the cup. So understand that this is just one of the pages you get with a site-wide password, the Module 3 password. Most bang for your buck. For $250, you get more pages than just this. And here, let's take a look at a few of the things that you can enjoy when you get a Module 3 password. And just any of these, anything that's here that requires a password, that's going to be a site-wide password. So even if you're just doing something like fractions and you want to go to the password protected page, the Module 3 password works. Here on subtraction, same. Your site-wide password. And page after page after page. Problem solving. Makes math fun and easy. Playing what's under the cup. And then when you get to the completing the square pages, you've already played what's under the cup. And basically what you're going to do is convert those squares into problems where you can play what's under the cup. So many, many pages with the site-wide password. Actually, if you want to see just how many of them there are, let's go quickly over here. And you can see, and see, I'm past this already. We're at 6,000 something now. 6,700, I think it is. But the idea that once you get a site-wide password, this would be Module 3. Look at this. You get many, many pages. And with the algebra course, you get a Module 3 and Module 4 password and its own course. So for 43.33, You're in for life. Once you make the 24 installments, you still have access forever until one of us dies. The idea that you quit paying and then you don't have access anymore, that's not how it works at the House of Math. You make your 24 payments, or you make your one time payment and you're good. You don't have to pay again. Unless I come up with new pages. Like, let's see, you get everything up until that point. For example, oh, and by the way, completing the square, if we come over here to McRae's page, lesson 39, you'll see this little 8-year-old completing the square and having fun doing it. All right, Ruth Donna Ramon's houseofmath.com for more. But check out the algebra pages here at the House of Math. And that was a little sneak peek. I hope you watched it at 2 times speed behind some paywalls. And you get an idea of what you get with the site-wide password. All right. Completing the square. Fun and easy. GoodOnRamon'sHouseOfMath.com.